Well, hello, and welcome to Duchess After Dark. I am Duchess. So thank you for popping in and spending some time. There's been some interesting things in the news. I'm going to jump right into this. And I know on my last episode, we had, let's see here. I had talked about a Canadian woman who slapped a teenager on the Jersey Shore. And I think the story had just broke when I discussed it. And now it's been out a few days, and there's just been a lot of great information that has come out since then. So not only is this woman a real fucking winner, she's a 33-year-old woman, and decided that she didn't like what a teenager was wearing. So her response was to go up, yell at her, and then slap her and hit her. And then leave. Well, lady, cameras everywhere. She got caught. So not only is she Canadian, she's overstayed her visa, 2 years overstayed. Her husband, who I guess is a New Jersey native, they're currently residing in Asbury Park. Her husband, as she got taken away by the police, and then ICE subsequently picked her up because now she's an illegal alien. You're not a citizen. You don't belong. Your visa has expired. You were supposed to exit yourself out 2+ years ago, and you have not. So you've been sitting here milking the system. I'm very curious to find out if they'd had any assistance. So she had gotten taken away, and her husband, of course, made some videos. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I'm worried for her. ICE picked her up. I'm okay, we're not really telling the whole truth here. Yes, ICE picked her up after she committed a crime. So it's not like ICE just snatched her off the street for just walking down and existing. She fucked up. And when you fuck around, you find out. And this is the perfect example of fuck around and find out. And you know what? Fuck her. I don't feel sorry for her. I have said, ladies, and gentlemen too, keep your fucking hands to yourself. There's no need for anyone to put their hands on anyone without cause. I'm pretty sure that teenager didn't do shit to you. And there is video floating around. And even it didn't look like there was much shit talk, but this woman came up yelling and just started to swing. You lose, lady. You fucking lose. I am delighted with the fact that this chick is gonna get hauled out. I don't feel bad for her one goddamn bit. You deserve it. You really do. There's no... It just makes my life happy. Because Lord knows we get enough shit in here in New Jersey. And then the fact that this dipshit just created her own... She created this whole thing. She walked up to them, recording them on her cell phone, her own personal cell phone, confronted them, and allegedly struck one of the girls, clearly recorded it. And then, nothing's ever gone forever on the internet. And if just because you think you delete something and it's never going to be around, they find it every time. I don't know why people don't learn. Stop recording yourself doing stupid shit. But frankly, she probably would have been recorded. There's cameras everywhere. There's those Nest cameras, the flock cameras, they're all over the boardwalk. I'm sure of it. So I'm thoroughly enjoying the fact that this chick is still sitting in jail. She is considered a criminal illegal alien and will remain in custody while her case is adjudicated. So she will be there, I believe, until August. And I guess... the quote was, she began yelling at the teen over her patriotic colored sweatpants with political wording. And then apparently the sweatpants, the irony, said Trump and ICE. And then ICE got you. Oh, well. So she slapped the teen across the face and across the body and then ran away, and then they caught her. So bye. Bye, Felicia. You need to go. So I hope she's enjoying. She's up in the New Jersey ICE facility, the detention center, let's call it that, up in near Newark. It's called Delaney Hall, which has been the subject of some of our some focal points with public protests, hunger strikes, congressional folks showing up, causing chaos, being stupid. It's been open since 97, I believe. So, actually maybe a little sooner, but it's been open for a hot minute. And now all of a sudden Trump's in charge and now people are paying attention. Okay. Is that what we're going to do? All right. Whatever. I don't really even care. I hope she sits there and rots. Actually, I hope they do send her back. Goodbye. Just get you out. I'm curious to know how much her and her husband were collecting off the public teat, because I believe they had no money when he made his sad car videos, as everybody does. I don't understand the car videos. I really, really don't. Why would you film yourself crying in a car? Does this sound sexist? Yeah, you're a dude. Don't be crying in your car. I don't know what to do. Call an attorney. My favorite is the GoFundMe he set up got immediately shut down because it was mass reported. But it had to do with violence, so that was GoFundMe's excuse. So I guess he could set one up somewhere else, but he has not, as far as I know. And I just said, bye. Again, bye-bye. Don't care. So that was super fun, scrolling through the news and just looking to see what's going on. It's been a crazy weekend. I was down in Virginia helping my daughter work on some home projects, her and her fiance. We drove down and just mass crushed out like a chunk of this project, enough to help them get going. So they could continue it. The whole point was for them to get jump started, and this way we could at least help them. It's very difficult, when your kid moves so far away. I mean, 6+ hours. Come on, kid. And then we get calls, help, which of course we're going to help, and we'll help the best that we can, as we do, right, for our children. This thing was a hot goddamn mess. She had a shed that was just falling the fuck apart. And I can't believe we got the shit done on it that we did. It was shocking. But here we are. As I was looking through the news, just what am I going to talk about? What am I talking to you guys about today? And I saw some Gen X stuff. So, of course, I'm going to click on that. I am a Gen Xer. And one of the interesting things is there's a Gen Xer psychiatrist who says we don't actually miss the 80s. We miss things from the 80s. So I had to click on that and see what he was suggesting. Like, what does that mean? Because I'll hear music, or I'll see a movie, or I'll catch a vibe off of something, and it just immediately flashes me back. And the music really is what gets me. Music and movies get me. It's just, you just instantly know where you were, what you were doing at the time, and you're instantly put back into that vibe, that feeling, that emotion of that moment. One of the topics of what Gen Xers miss, is the freedom to be unreachable. And that's a great topic, because I don't know what it's like nowadays to be unreachable. We are so accessible through cell phones, through email, through just everywhere. You can't not find somebody now. Everybody's tracked. So even if I get a call and I don't answer it, I'll get a text message. My daughter usually, why you didn't answer the call? Where are you? What are you doing? Why? I'm the most important thing, which is what I get quite a bit. How dare you? But yeah, the being unreachable, good and bad to that. It was a certain time where you could just vanish. Looking back, I couldn't imagine as a parent just not knowing where your kid was. My mother was a lot more tell me where you're going, where you're going to be. Text me when you get there. Well, not text me. Call me when you get there. Call me when you leave. That was my mother's orders all the time. And definitely be home by X time or you get an ass beaten, which everybody did. Everybody in the neighborhood had to be home by X time. And I think at one point all the moms kind of synced up, so everybody left at the same time to get home for dinner. My mother had a bell that was hanging outside of our back door, and we had a big ranch property. Not like Dutton Ranch, but like just a big ranch house. And the neighborhood was still at the time was quiet enough where she would go outside and clang this bell. It was almost like a cowbell. Like it's just like ding 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 ding. And we would hear that, I think, half a block away easily. And we weren't usually much further than that, even if we were in the woods or down the street. It was very clear and it was very loud. And we knew when we heard that, we had about 15 minutes to get our ass home. But we knew my mom would like, come home for lunch, check in, whatever. She was tough. She didn't brook any bullshit. I feel like I might have had that a little more. My brother, I think when I left, I might have broken my mom a little bit. My brother had a little more leeway, but I also think he was the baby and he got away with way more than I did. I think I broke my mother in for sure. My parents were divorced, so my dad was, while I was around, he wasn't home. So I'm pretty sure I pushed my mother to every limit possible, including climbing out the window at night, going out with friends, cutting school. One of those cut school days may have involved meeting up with a slightly older boyfriend, friendish, definitely over 18. I was not. And it involved a gravel pit and some pew-pews and some ammo back in the 80s. And, looking back, maybe that's not a big deal. But looking back, with nobody knowing where we were, my girlfriend and I, we cut school. I mean, we could have just been murdered in that gravel pit and never found. Like, that would have been an unsolved mystery right there. So thinking back to that, while that may not have been the worst thing other people have done, it's one of those things that when you look back, holy shit, that was so stupid. So stupid. So fucking stupid. I would have beat my daughters for doing that. Beat them senseless. Unreal. So to tie that back into being unreachable, that would also be unfindable, never to be seen again. They definitely wouldn't have had a tracker on me, for sure. So again, good and bad to being unreachable, I suppose. You can, at this point, if you want to be unreachable, you have to literally leave your cell phone somewhere and just not have it with you. Don't have your computer with you. And now it's like you almost have to justify why you were unreachable. That's crazy, right? And I guess another point of this is where you were able to turn off. Like, because you didn't have any devices. The only time I heard the news was when my parents turned it on. And it was the 5 o'clock local news, the 6 o'clock more, another broadcast show, and then the 7 o'clock evening news, which was the world news. And that was it. And we didn't always watch the news. Occasionally my mother or my dad would make us sit down and watch it. So boring. So freaking boring. Because we didn't know. I mean, I was 10 years old. What the hell am I paying attention to the hostage crisis and all that shit? No clue. Not one. So that again, I guess they're like, you should learn, and they just plopped you down in front of the TV. I'm like, I don't know what I'm learning. But I think nowadays there's no escaping the news, right? Like it's just there. You turn on the TV, you turn on your computer, you open up your phone, and it's just alerts and just things just smacking you in the face. Just, what is it? And we'll say Facebook, because I'm a Facebooker. I'm one of those people. And within a minute, I'm either seeing somebody whose marriage broke up, somebody's ill, somebody died, something's going on in the Middle East, Donald Trump did this, Kamala Harris did that, just whatever politician at the time. And it's a constant state of emotion. It's so hard to turn off. You can't look at any social media. Although I try now to curate my feed where, at least my Instagram, is just stupid stuff. Stupid memes, dumb videos, funny, happy, goofy things, and shopping. Like that makes me happy. That's what I'm looking for right now. I just need to turn my brain off. And I don't want to be angry all the time or on edge all the time or worried or just constantly think, what's happening? What's happening in the world? What is going to happen to me, to my kids, to future generations? What are we doing? What's happening? It's exhausting. It emotionally and mentally draining. So it'd be nice to be able to turn that off as well. Kind of like just put the phone away, don't open the computer. But like even at work, I can't avoid things. That's that's its own show. I'm going to leave work alone. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. And then another point that this psychiatrist brings up, which is interesting. What is his name? I forgot his name. Oh, psychiatrist Jeff Knuppel? Knuppel. He runs a TikTok channel actually called GenXistence. GenXistence. I haven't watched it, but I'm looking at the article now, which is interesting. So I may click on that and follow for a bit. And another point he brings up is everything becomes content. Here I am now complaining about things. Here's content. His article is now content. But can you imagine going out to dinner? Don't take a picture of your food. Don't take a picture of the restaurant you're in. Don't take a picture at the concert you're attending. No selfies, no checking in, no digitizing, everything that you do. It becomes your content. Oh, here I am. I'm checking into, and I'm 100% guilty. 100,000% guilty of that. I check in everywhere. I do it a bit for work when I'm hosting work events. My business checks into the event and all this, that, and the other. But I'm at the gym every morning. I check in. And for all those who follow me on social, you know that. But I also check in more to account for it. It's to hold myself accountable. And there's been times where I hadn't posted for a while. And I post on my ex account. And I post on Facebook. That's where I get most of my interactions. Instagram, I share stuff, but the check-ins, Facebook and X. And I have found that the days I don't check in, sometimes if I go a couple days in a row, I get messages from people. Hey, are you okay? You haven't been to the gym. Are you doing all right? So I'm like, wow, okay. So I have people following along. And you know what? I kind of dig that. But I don't do it for the clicks and the likes because, nobody follows me. I'm not anybody that people are like, ooh, I got to follow her. She's so motivating. I do this to keep myself in check. I hold myself accountable. I go to the gym. I'm going to check in. And if people don't like me checking in and posting my workouts and my shit, guess what? Bye. You don't have to fucking follow me. You can be just like that Canadian bitch and just hit the fucking road. I don't care. I mean, it's great if you do. And if you're along the same kind of journey I am, and Lord, I hate saying journey, but it truly is a journey. Welcome aboard the fucking journey train, right? It's so bonkers. But I do it to keep myself accountable. And is that content? It sure is. And I guess I'm my own self to blame for it. But it helps me stay on track. And again, if it helps somebody else out, that's great. I don't do it for that. I'm not a fitfluencer. I'm no influencer at all. I'm a nobody, and that's okay. That's okay. You know, we all can't be that special somebody, right? Somebody's got to be. What is it that from the Incredibles? Here's a hard pullback to a Disney movie where they tell the little boy, Dash, I think his name is, they go, you're special. Everyone's special. And if everyone's special, no one is. Like not every single person can be special, right? Because then how do you separate special? So yeah, there's a stretch there. Wow. So again, everything does become content eventually. And that's okay. And if that's what helps you get you through your day doing your thing, go for it. But I feel like now there's almost pressure to create content. I feel guilty if I don't update my feeds. And why should I feel guilty? It's my own shit. Who cares? I'm not doing it for a paycheck. I mean, if somebody would like to send me money, I'll take it. But I'm not performing for money, if you know what I mean. And it's just, I guess the content we had back in the 80s was your camera, your Polaroid, right? Your blurry, one-click, fuzzy, developed photos, and you had no idea if your pictures turned out. You just took a bunch and hope for the best. I remember getting those pictures back and being like, well, every picture from this birthday party sucked. Good times. So I guess that was your content now was you actually had physical photos, physical things. And you had to be more select about what you were taking a photo of because you had to pay to develop them. And back in the olden days, in the 1900s, right, kids? When you had to pay to develop those pictures, it was expensive. I mean, I was making minimum wage when I first started working was $3.35 an hour. And I guess when you move up the food chain, you start making $5.25, $6. You still had to pay to get those photos developed. So you wanted to make sure the pictures you took turned out, and most of them didn't. So there's your content right there. Now I have books and books and books of content behind me on the bookshelf. And I don't even know what my kids are going to do with these photo albums. I have photos from people, my grandparents, like great-grandparents. I don't know these people. I don't know what I'm going to do with all that content, the physical, actual pieces of content. What do you do with those? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave them for my kids. And they can throw them out. And they won't feel guilty. I will. So that's that. So there's the end of that content. And then another point, and another, is the neat thing about, I guess, the 80s, again, in the 1900s, is you could fix things. You could actually take something apart and fix it. And it was worth fixing. You could take your TV apart and replace the tubes. You could rewire your lamp. You could just fix your car for people who knew how to do so. Now, I mean, even changing a battery is difficult. It's not easy to get to things anymore. And TVs, they're so inexpensive, you could just throw it away. I saw in Walmart, I think, it was like 70-something inch TV. A 72, 5'8" inch, I don't know, TV. Okay, we'll say 75-inch TV. All right, I'm 5 feet tall. I'm 5'2", so I'm 62 inches tall. So the TV's taller than me, standing on edge, okay? So you hang that on your wall. You have a massive TV. It was like $3.98, $300.98 for a fucking TV. I remember buying, way back when, a 27-inch tube TV. That was my first new TV in my apartment, my own place. And I think we paid $750 for that. It weighed a motherfucking ton. It was enormous and heavy. And it was a great TV. It actually had a remote. I think the last TV we had, we had a dial. The on-off button was broken, and it had a screw rigged into it somehow so we could pull it on and off to turn on the television. I don't think my kids would know what to even do with that if we showed them that. You know, like showing people a rotary phone. What the heck is that? It's crazy. Again, you could fix things and you didn't have to just throw everything away if you were any kind of handy. You know, screwdriver, hammer, bits, you could buy the parts. And now it's like, if they don't have the circuit boards, or you can't find the spark plugs, or you just don't have the wires or the cables or the connectors, you just throw it out. What a waste. We just throw everything away. We have a disposable life sometimes, a disposable way about us. You just chuck things out. It's crazy. And then the last topic, I guess, he has several others, but this one catches me a little bit. It says we didn't have to question everything. You probably should have, but you didn't have to think about, you know, the point he brings up is Photoshop, internet scams, biased reporting, AI. You know, is this email legitimate? Well, you didn't have emails. You just got letters. And I'm sure there were scammy letters at the time. But I don't know if it was to the scale that things are today. I feel like it's a constant attack for what is real, what isn't real. There's things I see online where I have to really study them. And I wonder, is that real? I'll send funny videos and little clips back and forth. And my eldest daughter, who's involved in marketing, gets pissed at me. Ma, that's AI. I'm like, I don't think it is. She goes, it absolutely is. Okay, it's AI. Fine. All right. And she's resistant to AI. She doesn't like anything about AI. Well, of course, it's taken over her job. But she gets really pissed. She doesn't even like the funny videos, the little fixie things, none of that. It's just not a fucking thing. So I don't know. I just don't know how things are anymore. It's just crazy. And then the last thing I'm going to bring up is just more of a nostalgia. I mean, other things that come up with Gen X, and I'm just going to touch on a couple things. And it's so funny. Cheap concert tickets, if you wanted to know the time and temperature, you could call. And you called and find out, is that even a thing anymore? Why bother? It's on. I can look at my watch, my Apple Watch, and the temperature's there. And then looking things up, like you actually had to use a dictionary and a thesaurus. And God forbid, if you were in the library and you had to find a book, you use your card catalog. If anybody even knows what that is. Oh my goodness. And then it's just, I remember sitting and talking on the phone. I used to talk to people. Now I podcast with people, which is awesome. But it's different. It's different. There's something different about having a communication with people. And I miss that sometimes. It's so easy to text and not speak to folks. But it's also important to actually have communication with people. I don't know. There's some really good ones. I snagged some of these off of BuzzFeed and Reddit, and it's just nostalgia lane, and it's actually bumming me out. I miss things in the 80s that made me feel happy. You know, going shopping, hanging out at the mall. What a time to be alive. I was that gang of teens in the mall. Now they're the gang of teens at the boardwalk. They're the gang of teens at the movies. You run out of places for these kids to hang out. Food court, just at the movie theater. Oh my God, we just hit the stores. Spencer's. Oh, always Spencer's. And Sam Goody, all the record stores, bookstores. We've got all of them. We try on clothes, every clothing store. Oh my word. And if you're old enough to remember what merry-go-round is, and I'm not talking the one with the carousel horses, I always wanted to buy stuff from merry-go-round. I could never afford it. And I remember shopping at the Gap when it wasn't cool. Now it's outrageously expensive. Oh, the 80s. Good times. All right. Well, I'm going to drop off on that. I think I'm going to hold up on the 80s. I might continue the 80s somewhere else in another show. But I think right now I'm going to pause. And I appreciate all y'all who come listen. Thank you. You just listen to me natter on. And that's what I do. I just open up the mic and I chit chat. And hopefully, you enjoy it. And if you do, let me know. If you don't, hey, still let me know. If there's other fun topics you might want me to discuss, or you have a point of view, I'd love to hear it. You can message them to me on X. You can find me at Duchess NJ. And you can send me a message there. So on that note, I'm wrapping up. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.